Breaking last night at midnight, over 25,000 workers, dock workers on the east coast of the United States have gone on strike, saying they will not work anymore. They're actually starting to walk off of the docks.
Wow.
So how is this going to impact the economy of the United States? Ships out to sea will not be allowed to land. This could be a very dangerous situation for the United States. So welcome back to the Wilson Brothers. I'm David. This is Isaac.
What's up, guys? Yeah, this isn't the best, most exciting news that we've ever given you guys, but we have to cover ongoing news reports, and we're going to give you guys some facts as well as what different people are saying from the Republican side as well as the president of the union itself.
To give you guys a little bit of context, this is what is happening. I'm going to read this for you all. The longshoremen strike has officially begun, shutting down major U.S. East and Gulf Coast ports that handle more than half of the nation's containerized trade. Tens of thousands of dock workers from the International Longshoremen's Association, ILA, walked off the job on October 1st after negotiations with the U.S. Maritime Alliance stalled over wages and automation concerns. Workers are demanding a 77% wage increase over 6 years, fearing that increased automation will replace jobs. The strike comes at a critical time, threatening to disrupt holiday shipping, causing potential shortages and price spikes for essential goods like food and electronics. The economic impact could reach $4.5 billion in daily losses, despite pressure from industry leaders to intervene using the Taft-Hartley Act. President Biden has opted not to, standing by collective bargaining. As the strike continues, uncertainty grows with businesses scrambling to adjust and the economy at risk of deeper disruption. This is a huge thing that is going to affect your daily life and ours.
This is a crazy story.
Yeah, so here's a couple clips from this post. Right here. Over there. So these are just some of the workers, as you can tell.
Yeah, sounds like the president of the union's right there.
Yeah, there's another president of the union, but these are.
What do those signs say?
No work without a fair contract. Profit over people is unacceptable.
Just play it and they'll walk faster.
Yeah, unacceptable. Support ILA workers. So you have to think of this in two perspectives. One, are the workers being unfairly paid?
Well, we have a source for that.
Yeah, so I've actually looked up what they get paid. And automation is inevitable, people.
Yeah, with AI specifically.
I
have a tool that's going to do that.
You can't just screw over the entire country because you're afraid of automation. You chose to be in that industry. You can get a different job.
Yeah, when we went from the Industrial Revolution now to the information age, a lot of people that were working factory jobs or jobs in traditional ways had to innovate and change and even move across the country to get different jobs, because as we innovate and get better as a society, especially with technology, this is just inevitable. Whether you like it or not, this is going to happen. And doing a strike is only hurting the U.S. economy, in my opinion. But I do want to see...
like the writer's strike in L.A. because of all the different films that were going on and they weren't paying the writers and certain people in production properly. I understood that strike.
Yeah.
So I want to be proven. I want to be proven. I want to be convinced.
All right, let's see
that the strike is for a good reason.
Longshore workers currently make an average of $197,514. They want a 77% raise and a ban on automation and efficiency improvements, and Democrats support this.
Wow.
I mean, automation is coming, whether you like it or not. That's what's going to be happening because if you're a business owner and you can automate a process versus having to pay a worker for it. I know specifically I'm building an automated AI platform. This is coming, whether you like it or not, like I mentioned 7 times already. But, I mean, what
on the low end, 81,000 is the lowest that these union people make.
Yeah.
Especially because they do so much overtime. I saw another post said that it was $20 an hour was the lowest. And then with overtime benefits, they all get perfect coverage of medical insurance. Mm-hmm. So they get all these benefits, but yet they are still going on strike.
Okay, so let's go to the president of the union and see what he has to say, because We might be biased, guys. We might not have all the facts. We want to hear every single side of this.
This is
and
the
decide for
president of
ourselves.
one of the unions.
These people today don't know what a strike is.
Right.
When my men hit the streets, from Maine to Texas, every single port will lock down. You know what's going to happen? I'll tell you. First week, be all over the news every night, boom, boom. Second week, guys who sell cars can't sell cars because the cars ain't coming in off the ships. They get laid off. Third week, malls start closing down. They can't get the goods from China. They can't sell clothes. They can't do this. Everything in the United States comes on a ship. They go out of business. Construction workers get laid off because the materials aren't coming in. The steel's not coming in. The lumber's not coming in. They lose their job. Everybody's hating the longshoremen now because now they realize how important our jobs are. Now I have the president screaming at me, I'm putting a Taft-Hartley on you. Go ahead. Taft-Hartley means I have to go back to work for 90 days. That's a cooling off period. Do you think when I go back for 90 days, those men are going to go to work on that pier? It's going to cost the company's money to pay their salaries. Well, they went from 30 moves an hour maybe to 8. They're going to be like this. Who's going to win here in the long run? You're better off sitting down and let's get a contract and let's move on with this world. And in today's world, I'll cripple you. I will cripple you, and you have no idea what that means. Nobody does.
Wow. If that is not a mafia mob mentality, I don't know what is. If you don't do it,
it's mob rule.
we're going to destroy
cripple your economy. We're going to cripple the U.S. economy in the matter of 3 weeks if you do not comply.
Wow.
What do you think Trump would do in this situation?
You think this would happen? I've seen a lot of different posts online and even comments to this video. Someone said, who do you think is best equipped to handle this kind of situation?
Trump, without a shadow of a doubt.
Can you
imagine Kamala sitting down
trying to
with
negotiate with this
him?
guy?
He would laugh at her.
And I would understand if these guys were getting paid $12 an hour and making nothing, and they couldn't support their family, and they're like, "Well, we're tired of working 60-hour weeks, and we're making $35K a year." I would understand that, but they're not making that. They're making good money.
Well, here's the thing as well. I think from what I'm seeing from him, the biggest issue is he feels underappreciated. His workers feel underappreciated, so it's a pride thing.
He's like, my guys will go and shut it down.
Yeah.
And he's like, try putting what was it that the president could put on it that would make it so they have to work for 30 days.
90 days.
90 days.
Yeah.
But they don't have to. They would have to get paid for that.
Capitalism, you don't have to work if
they
you don't
could
want
walk
to.
away. They don't have to. You can't force them under threat of jail to go to work.
Yeah, he's trying to force the president's hand. Apparently, Biden's already screamed at him. I don't even know if Biden was capable of that. Interesting.
Yeah, based off this rollcall.com, Republican members call on Biden to halt Dockworker Strike. Republican lawmakers are pushing for President Joe Biden to reverse his stance against intervening in a dockworker strike, expected to stymie supply chains and raise prices by invoking his executive powers. Again, it comes back to it. Yes, he could intervene, but the people make the decision, which again, they should have the right to not work. This is a free country, but I think it's an absolute ridiculous thing of entitlement that people in this country have.
He's trying to see if President Biden will call his bluff. And the thing is that the scariest part that he said that is absolutely true, the president of this union, he said everything that comes into the United States of America comes in on a boat, on a ship.
There's a lot of
so
food.
he controls the distribution of goods and services.
That's so dangerous to have
to the
somebody
entire
like him
East
in
Coast
charge.
of America.
And that's the thing is we have a lot of food in this country that is grown here. But think about coffee. Think about most fruit.
Yeah, we're a net importer, not exporter.
We import a lot of our food. We could survive off the stuff here, but the prices are going to go through the roof.
It's going to affect the global economy too.
Oil, construction, anything to be
coming from China.
Yeah. Think of all the small businesses, dude. Think of the malls. All the malls are going to shut down.
He said.
But let's go real quick to Glenn Beck.
All right, Glenn Beck had something to say about
He
this.
talks about what this means realistically for the United States.
Let me start with the official reason. Mm-hmm. He's not getting involved because the president should not get involved in union fights until it becomes a real problem.
I ask, was that worth saying? It is such a ridiculous...
No, I just want to make sure.
I know, you're just doing your job.
Yes.
But that is the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life.
I don't believe it.
They get involved in everything. What, all of a sudden they're libertarians?
Yeah. And he stopped the train strike before the train strike happened. He got involved in that one.
Heavily involved.
Right.
And all he's done is talk about his accomplishments with labor.
Okay. So why wouldn't he get involved this time?
Yeah. Say, hey, guys, do this after the election. Why wouldn't he stop this?
Interesting point. Maybe this is his retribution against Kamala.
I have my answer. And my answer is probably the answer that everybody else is coming to the conclusion on. It is that's not the goal here.
The goal is not to win the election?
The goal is to cripple the United States and to create a polycrisis. So let's just say it's a close election, okay? And there's arguments back and forth after the election.
Which it would be shocking if there wasn't that
Correct.
situation.
How do you make that worse?
Global
they
instability.
keep inventing new ways.
Well, here's one. You make it worse by taking the economy and making the economy even more unstable. Okay? Because look, if those who believe with good reason that this government is not for an America the way we know it, they have to give it the final blow to put it out to be able to restart in a new system.
Jeez.
Okay? And you can't do that with just one crisis. You need a polycrisis. You need a financial crisis.
Yep.
You need a war crisis. You need an election crisis.
Jesus.
You need a financial crisis, a pandemic crisis, and an election crisis. You have to have more than one.
You know what that reminds me of?
What?
Leave the World Behind, the movie.
Yeah.
Produced by Barack and Michelle Obama. Interesting. But when it comes to what he's talking about, global instability, especially in the financial markets, which I know a little bit more about because of the industry that I'm in, automation, AI is coming in and it's changing the way people work, and it's going to do a lot of job displacement in the future. But when it comes to the financial industry and sector, that is the bedrock of a society. So when you have boats that come from China and from these other ports of entry into the United States, if those get halted in any shape or capacity, yes, $4.5 billion per day is realistic. And so what that does is that hurts small business, that creates economic instability. And I'm just curious why this is happening 40 days before an election.
Every time
something happens.
Last time it was the vid.
Yeah, it was the jabba jabba jabba. You know, it's so ridiculous to think that in the times that we live in America today, that instability, people are not opening their eyes. We are at an alarming rate comparably to where we were in the 1980s, 1990s, but where we are now is our eyes are being opened to the global reset that's happening. Alex Jones talks about it all the time. The global reset, the World Economic Forum, what is happening in Davos with Elon Musk going over there? That's kind of strange. What is Charles Schwab doing? What are these big elitists doing to try to reset the global order to have a one world government?
Well, Donald Trump, while in office, said no to the World Economic Forum.
I know
the one world agenda. Once Biden went in office, he immediately said yes to everything.
He lambasted them in front of the entire world.
Yeah, that's what Trump did.
Yeah. And that's crazy to me to think that they tried to take him out twice now, right? And he's still alive, which is a miracle. And then this happens. Biden and Harris, through Hurricane Helen, which we're going to cover on another video, aren't even responding to it. And Trump raised over $2.5 million just in 24 hours on a GoFundMe for the victims of this hurricane. But this is all interconnected, guys, as he's talking about a attack on America as it stands today. We have to stand up and have a voice. Like, we have to. That has to be a part of the narrative.
I'm going to challenge every viewer to do one thing. Get rid of the mentality of, oh, that's just a conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
Because it is, if you are going to be completely
complacent
and skeptical of everything that everyone says out there that could be going on with our country, especially with the establishment, with the elites, the people that run the world,
military-industrial complex.
Yeah, that want to create a one-world government, do all this stuff. If you believe this is just all conspiracy theories, go down your own road of investigation, because when you do your own research, you start to see dots connected.
Yeah.
Unless you don't understand. But Glenn Beck, when he was on Flashpoint, talked about the next 4 weeks, what this strike means for us, because we want to see how is this going to impact the people we love, the people we know. He said for the first week, you're not going to notice almost anything, because we still, again, this is without taking into consideration that people are going to panic. So they're going to go to the grocery stores and buy everything up. But he said for the first week, it shouldn't affect food much yet.
Because we have reserves.
In the second and third week, you're going to start to see places, grocery stores getting very empty. Manufacturing isn't able to come in because they need
gas
prices go up. He said
before an election.
He said within 4 weeks, you're talking about a complete collapse, because no more food is coming in that we need. Granted, we're going to have to survive on grains and certain things that are created here. We're not going to have fresh produce and fresh food. Our oil prices, dude, talk about gas.
Biden's not going to let that happen for one reason, because there is an election coming up. There's no way, because within 4 weeks from now, that's when the election is. If we are in an absolute catastrophe in 4 weeks as a nation, Trump will win in a Reagan landslide. There's no way that they're going to let that happen.
So you think he's going to step in and stop this?
100%.
Do you think they're going to listen to him?
Yes, they have to. Because
how do they have to?
Their livelihoods are on the line.
No, but they don't care about the rest of the country right now. All they care about is their own well-being, and they're making decent money, as I just showed you.
Yeah, the unions are well-funded. I mean,
you can't tell people to go to work.
It's difficult because is a president supposed to get involved with the unions, or are the unions supposed to fight it out and get it fixed?
I mean, when it comes to our country collapsing, there's too much power with unions. That's the problem.
Yeah, especially, I mean, unions is a very difficult conversation, because when it comes to how economics work within unions, they are overly funded. They're not properly run most of the time.
No,
it's not.
It's a mafia.
It's a mafia by mob rule, which we saw with the president of this union. I didn't hear anything constructive about what are we doing to fix this. Biden has to call me and get it done now, or else this. It was an ultimatum.
He's trying to strong arm.
It's a strong-armed ultimatum type of conversation. But guys,
I will say this before you finish. I am frustrated at the workers that are deciding to go on strike, but I believe there are higher powers of B that are making this happening.
Yeah.
Just so you know, there's other things that are happening that is beyond just them.
It's always a distraction.
There are higher people up that I'm going to do my own research on of who actually created this and made this happen. Maybe we'll do another video. I don't know. Maybe it's my own skepticalness that's going down this rabbit hole. Skepticism of the upper beings. But regardless of that,
what do you guys think of this? Because we want your feedback in the comments. Let us know. Let's get a dialogue started. We'll reply to every comment, good or bad. We're not always right, but we want to make sure that you guys are heard in the comments. And thank you so much for following our channel. We are a smaller channel right now, so we appreciate every single one of you guys. And make sure to like and subscribe. And we will see you on the next episode.
Absolutely. And also comment below if there's certain information we missed. If there's things that have just broken out that we need to be aware of involving this scenario, let us know. But we appreciate you guys. We'll see you on the next video.
Peace.
Peace.